Breathing is this shock due to vitamin C inundation. Does such a thing exist? No, these are all thoughts and not necessarily things. I once heard you can only get 80% of vitamin C that you need from oral induction. And now we are digesting it. Listening for rumblings, asking the seers to appraise the tones. Needless vibrato that goes nowhere. I promise you, I will stop. But not just now, asking about the digestion song, coming along for the ride. Is the train gonna stop at the station, depositing all the marketable goods that can be used by the sewer system? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Well, that's the problem with freelance crooning, free bird song crafting, song free playlist birding. That's the problem with improv in general. You never know where you're going to end up, and sometimes you end up realizing that you had dumped the Lego bucket out all around the room except the corner that you're in, and now you've got to take steps. Who wants to take steps in a Lego-filled cacophony? You're asking for scabs and steakery right there. You're asking for little round imprints and gritted teeth and hissing sounds. But apparently not from the digestive tract, because the song has concluded, and I have concluded, and I have spoken to myself. Now I speak again with my human voice to you. I am not on the door of a opening of the thing to let loose with the gastrointestinal fragmentary. How many times are we going to make up words in this podcast? Damn, where's all of our tallies? We could be looking at a window not unlike an RPG video game, where I accumulate all these things. Yeah. Big fucking hole in the ground right there. Running past and jumping over by the corner. Okay. The episode, now that I think about it, might actually be Sing Along with Singman. Sing Along with Songbird. Chordcast. Oh, there we go. Up the hill. So, we've got a few minutes, don't we? We're not done yet. No, we're not. It is you and I must broach the gate. Bring the ram. I have my broadsword. I don't really need to be accelerating right now, but I am. You know where my thoughts are with music a lot of the time. We circle around our favorite haunts. I'm definitely a man of habitual taste. Definitely got the rivers I like to splash around in more than others. Yesterday I was thinking about Rob Zombie quite a bit. Up that hill, there was a second where I was thinking about that song, Super Beast. Because as I assumed the weird accent and talked broadswords, my mind went to yesterday. We were talking about Gandalf the Grey on the podcast, and how much that mofo made it count when the time came in the legend regarding the end of his time and the contemporary age of that world at that point. When the world was ready to change, Gandalf had a say, and he rocked like a super beast. There's something about that word. I really like that. Super beast. Rob Zombie was on the Joe Rogan Experience at one point. I was delighted to see him. He was talking about House of a Thousand Corpses, the movie he made. He made others. But as a filmmaker, he was talking about how his whole spiel is monster flicks. And growing up with like The Beast from the Lagoon and King Kong and all that, he said, man, I wanted to make one. And he might have referenced the endlessly remade American Psycho movie. He might have referenced that when he said, yeah, but these are all projections. And what projected these beasts were the minds of humans. Humans are the greatest of the monsters in the human world anyway. Yeah, you can think there's things about a bear you don't like, but man, you're going to have so much more of a problem with the person who's twisted in such a way that they're coming after you. So that's why he made House of a Thousand Corpses, or that was the attitude he held. So that's what they're called, creature features. He wanted to make a creature feature in the tradition of anteing up as hard as he could. So that's why I can watch King Kong and not freak out. But House of a Thousand Corpses is right up there with Firewalk with Me and Eraserhead. Like, to equate, even in a passing sense, Rob Zombie with David Lynch is like, okay, alright, we're not in kindergarten anymore, lads. Let's pull the britches up and get down to business, because we got some hardtack to press and the day is waning. What does that mean? It's whatever you want it to mean. You're the one listening. You have that power. It's a part of the power of the pod. It's shared power. You can hear whatever you want to hear. I can speak whatever I want to speak. Sometimes things really line up. But charging up that hill, I was thinking about Super Beast. I was thinking, man, what Rob's talking about has a natural counterpart. Yes, its places on the surface opposed. I'm talking about superheroes, right? Or at least the quality of superheroes that is purely attributive to the human experience, which of course is just an ideal. Superheroes. Gandalf the Grey is a fucking superhero. Him and Spidey should be fucking rolling around New York, fending off wargs and shite in the subway. Together. There's something so combative about it, right? I'll put it to you. Hi. I'll put it to you another way. Gandalf was cool. Rob Zombie's song, Super Beast, was very cool. And in the Rob Zombie song, Super Beast, there's a lyric, hell yeah, I'm the one that you wanted. Hell yeah, I'm the Super Beast. There's an ownership and a conflict invitational or confrontation invitation attitude, which reminds me of one of my earliest RPG game influences, the Seventh Saga. In the Seventh Saga, one of the weird things about that game was that they made it harder for the US. It was a Japanese game from a Japanese company. Usually when things make their way overseas in the early days of Nintendo and video games and such, the difficulty ramps down because it was thought that American audiences were inferior in their ability to play video games than Japanese audiences. That could be true, I'm not sure. I've played enough to know that I'm on a spectrum, and I've seen people in tiny places and tiny pockets of my own experience who are far, far different in where they are at the spectrum. It's a big spectrum. Anyway, so that was one thing they did with Seventh Saga. Another thing they did was crank out a serious music score for the time. Good music, ambient music, some of it's battle music, but a lot of the overland travel tracks were really choice, and I kind of feel like they're for what they are, they're superior to 90% of easy listening music of the day. I'm looking at you, Enya. I will not sail away, sail away, sail away. I'm going to listen to Seventh Saga tracks. But the thing that I'm actually thinking of here, besides all that, is the characters. The unique thing is that you can choose one of 7 characters to begin the game with. And you're with that guy through the whole game. And you can have a companion at some point as well. In virtually any of the other ones, the odds are with you or against you when you invite them into your party, depending on your level and the relationship that's kind of encoded into the characters toward each other. Hard to get the demon to work with the cleric guy. I'm the light worker, I'm the darkness. Let's work together. I've made it happen, it's fun. But my 3 favorite characters that you could start off with are Ledges, the demon. Very magical, very caustic fellow. Wears like a purple plum-colored cloak, or those are wings, I'm not sure. He's also half lizard. Then there's Lux, the Tatujan. He's like a robot. And he's like, he's the most wholesome of the bunch because he talks all in caps and is just a guy on a quest to recover his memories. He's like the last functional Tatujan in the world. So there's like a sadness to his character, but he's a defense guy. And he has his own brand of magic nobody else has. And he's fun. But then there's the guy, Wilm. I'm a Wilm guy. I like all these guys, but Wilm is my guy. Wilm is an alien. Wilm is an alien. He looks a bit like a warthog if a warthog were like 20 feet high. And stood on 2 legs. Now all these characters, but especially Wilm, adopt a stance in battle. The camera is oriented behind your character when battle strikes in this game. It's kind of random, kind of not when you get into fights in the world, more or less. And when a fight starts, the camera rotates in a sickening fashion. Or if you're underground, everything just kind of pixels out and pixels back in, which is way more easy on my body. It's not lost on me that... Well, let's just do it. If you're going to get into a fight and you're not in a cave, it's like... And then, because I can't move the camera behind me and let you see me and know what you're looking at, I'm not going to turn this into ass cam. What you would be seeing if you were playing that game would be the back of your character. If you're fighting that character, by the way, if you're fighting any of these guys, because you do fight each other, yeah, they can join you, the other 7, but they can also fight you. And there's a couple that you probably need to fight here and there, depending on what character you choose, which is really interesting and fun. But you get to see the main characters strike their battle stances from the other side, and it's really cool. I don't geek out that much over video games, but I'm just telling you. Gandalf, Super Beast, Wilm. Because when Wilm, you can see it better when you're fighting him, but when you're Wilm, and these other guys, but mostly Wilm, the stance they adopt when battle starts is that open-armed, wide stance. Hell yeah, I'm the one you wanted. I'm the one you were looking for. I'm your guy. Now what are we gonna do? Very, very Randy from South Park. What do you want to do? Shirts off. Fucking weird. Middle-aged. Bodies out. Maybe if I ever... Maybe that's what'll happen. Maybe when we do the body reveal. Maybe when I show you guys Endgame. And we do the flip around where I show you what I'm working with over here. In a amenable way, in a polite way. Maybe I'll assume that stance and you get to see what I'm talking about. It's just this very open, like, challenging. It's kind of like when Morpheus did the come hither to fucking Neo when they were fighting. It's just like, I'm here. It's like Swan in that movie, The Warriors. In that movie, the boss of the guys who are doing the forced march across the entire breadth of the movie and across New York at night, in one go, essentially. These guys are, led by a guy named Swan, and Swan at one point is challenged by the aggressive, sort of second runner-up leader guy, who's a bit more of an anarchist and a bit more of a, frankly, a douche. And the guy's like, I'm gonna take over the clan. This is my clan now. And Swan's calm and he's just chilling. He looks at the guy, he looks at the challenger, and he's like, make your move. Very laconic, very Spartan, which I guess makes sense because the Warriors was adapted from some ancient Greek lore, if I remember correctly, or history, I'm not sure. I'm aware of the difference. Lore, history, myth, and legend, not exactly the same thing. Yeah, make your move. Hell yeah, I'm the one you wanted. I'm the super beast. We're gonna have to be super beasts at some point in this podcast. With the heart of the warrior as well. We're gonna have to stay warm. We can't get cold, we can't get frosty and do it. If we're gonna beast up around here, it's gonna have to be a very warm beast. More like Totoro. We're gonna have Totoro up. Yeah. Welcome to the episode where I make 1,000 references. None of which necessarily have much to do with each other on the surface. Or perhaps at all. Welcome to the pathos... No, I'm sorry. Welcome to the pathology of divergent thinking. As a style. Hey, it's a part of life. Anywhooser, the underside of my beard is starting to treat me like a... Well, I was going to go down a path. I'm not going to go down it. Remember, we can back out anytime. Of course, until we hit upload. Or publish, that is. And then the internet has no reset button except a coronal mass ejection. Or thermonuclear war. Or, big earthquake. I guess. Big enough. I don't know. Depends. Cosmic impact. Dimensional shift. Shout out to Stargate Atlantis and the origins of Jason Momoa. Rock on, brother. You played a gunslinger with a revolver in that show, but you also had like this weird bone sword thing that I fucking loved. Kind of similar to Mordecai's sword from the game Borderlands. It's all weird shaped and shit. Use it sometimes. I'm searching this podcast for redemptive qualities in moments when I'm hypercritical. I don't have to, though. I can just relax and go along. Who cares? It's my pod. I'm not monetizing right now. I have no plan to. I have cool thoughts of, but no plan to. Not worried about ad agencies. Not worried about ticking people off. I'm right here, right now. I might tick me off. In fact, that's a guarantee. But it's all a conversation. It's always water under the bridge. We always hug and make up. Me and me. Anyway, Wilm is the super beast. Oh yeah, the thing that makes him unique among all those characters who still have those open stances when they're fighting is that they gave Wilm a little bit of extra precious animation in the memory usage of the game. They actually gave Wilm a bit of extra animation because instead of just like 2 frames where his body changes enough for the casual child observer to think, oh yeah, that's what it looks like to hit something and to throw a punch. I guess Wilm just threw a punch. No, instead of that, the guesswork is out because Wilm's body lights on fire and the fire jets at the foes. And how cool is that? As a kid, I was like, because Wilm wasn't the first guy that I played when I played that game. Fortunately, I got frustrated and quit the game many times, only to begin as another character. Finally, I got to Wilm. I was like, wow, this guy's fast. Also, he's terrible with magic. Also, he's got a lot of hit points. What? He can't equip weapons like most of the other characters can? That's weird. I guess because he has claws instead of hands? That's cool. I'm gonna try to attack with him. Oh my god! What is happening? He's on fire! He lit himself on fire with his mind and threw the fire at the enemies! That's so cool! And then he went back to that open-armed, come at me, bro, stance. All very masculine, all very... Who knows, actually? It reminds me of a probably at this point outdated psychological archetype called the challenger/defender. People who seem born to fight each other. There was a time when I thought of myself as one of those people. Now I'm like, maybe, I don't know. Let's just work with what we've got here and let's work with what we're doing. How about that? And names can be useful until they're not. Strategies can be useful until they're not. Let's just roll. Okay. So this is it. There's the hedge. We're home. We made it. Okay. And for like the 3rd time in a row, we're not gonna sit on the stoop. We're just gonna say goodbye to the hedge, and I'll say goodbye. Have a good one, everybody. It's been a pleasure. And as always, shake the wrists out when you need to. It's important. No one wants carpal tunnel. Okay. Cheers.